to Ursi's Unique Eats. I'm Ursula, also known as Ursi, and this is my kitchen. Today I'm whipping up some salt and pepper fried shrimp for dinner, which is actually a recipe that I really enjoyed in my childhood and early adolescent years. I used to find it at this northeastern grocery store chain that also served hot food. So every time I would go with my mom and my siblings, I would peer around the store and try to find the salt and pepper fried shrimp. They've stopped making it there, or either that, or I just can't find it when I go, but it's been about 6 or 7 years without this salt and pepper fried shrimp in my life. So I thought I would try my hand at making it at home. I love the results. It tastes exactly like it did when I was a child. If you're interested in making your own salt and pepper fried shrimp, come check out the ingredients that I use so you can make it at home too. To make this recipe, you will need 2 green onions chopped. Separate the dark green from the light green and whites. You can use the dark green later. 1/2 green pepper and 1/2 red bell pepper, chopped kind of to about 1 inch. 1 pound of peeled and deveined shrimp, also chopped to about 1 inch bite-sized pieces. 3/4 cup of cornstarch. Salt and pepper. You're not going to use all this salt and pepper, but you'll probably use about 1 tablespoon or so of each, so I like to have a lot on hand. And 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. The first step to making our salt and pepper fried shrimp is to make the cornstarch coating that's going to go on top of the shrimp to make it nice and crispy, and it'll fry up to a beautiful golden brown. So first we're going to add our 3/4 cup of cornstarch right into a nice size mixing bowl. Then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of pepper. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really the only flavor other than the salt that's in this. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. I find that with salt, you can always add more later, but you can't take it out. So I don't want this to be too salty. Then we'd have a huge problem. Now you can just go ahead and give your bowl a little bit of a mix. Just really incorporate that pepper and that salt all into the cornstarch. That looks just about right. Now I'm going to take my shrimp and add it into the bowl so that it can get all beautifully coated and ready to go into the frying pan. Watch out for cornstarch uprising. You can just use your hands. Clean hands are your best friend in the kitchen. Now you really want to make sure that all of the shrimp gets coated. I know at first it doesn't seem like a lot of cornstarch, but look at that. I feel like I actually have some extra in the pan, which is great. Make sure you're really going to the bottom. You getting everything? Now if you really want to be fancy, you can kind of go like, woo! Woo! But I don't want to make a total cornstarch mountain mess in my kitchen. This looks nice and incorporated. Now it's time to go heat up some oil in the frying pan so we can get these beauties cooking. Here we are at my stove where I have 2.5 tablespoons of olive oil heating up on a kind of a wok-like pan. I think you're just going to want to use anything that's got high sides if you can manage that, but you don't really splatter everything all over. So as you see, this olive oil is nice and warm, not super bubbling, not yet making that frying sound. We're going to add in our onion. There's that sound. And we're also going to add in our red and green peppers. We're going to cook these for about 3 to 5 minutes until everything is soft. I like to keep my peppers just a little bit crunchy, but if you prefer them very soft, feel free to cook it longer. Our peppers and green onions are just about done here. The next step is to actually remove them from the pan. If you leave 1 or 2 in, it's not a big deal. But we're going to scoop these out and just set them aside on a plate or in a bowl, because when you do go to fry the shrimp, if you crowd the pan, they will not brown. Nobody wants fried shrimp that looks still white, not beautiful, crispy, and golden brown, right? So why don't you just go ahead and remove the peppers from your pan. As you can see, I missed a few small little bits of onions. That's not such a big deal, not such a much, not going to cause any lack of browning. I'm going to add just a little bit more olive oil because I just don't think there's enough to fry. So you're going to want to let that come up to the heat. Swirl it all around your pan. No sense in frying shrimp if you can't get it out of the pan. I don't know where I heard that saying, no sense in making something if you can't get it out of the pan. feel like it might have been on some cooking show. I've kind of incorporated it into my personal manifesto of cooking. Now, I'm going to take just a small handful of shrimp because, again, if you crowd the pan, it won't brown. And I'm going to add them in, trying not to crowd them. I think I can add a few more. So this might take a few batches to make. Yeah, I think that's about all I want to put in there just for now. I got room for 2 more. So you want to give them some time to brown on one side before you kind of go in there with your wooden spoon and start flipping them around. We got 2 minutes per side. So these have been frying for about 2 minutes on this side, and now I'm just going to kind of flip them around here with my spoon, try to get all of them turned over so they're cooking evenly. As you see, they're starting to get a very light golden brown, and that is fantastic. That's just what you want to see. You see those little black burnt bits that are over there? That is some of the green onion that I did not get out. Probably not going to love the taste of burnt green onion, but it's really not detrimental to the dish if there is a little bit of burnt green onion in your final product. Just going to let those fry on the next side also for about 2 to 3 minutes. Wow, look at that nice light golden brown color. They'll darken a bit some more, but this is a great start for a base fry. I like to serve my salt and pepper fried shrimp alongside some steamed rice. I think it really complements the flavors well. Feel free to make your own steamed rice or a side dish that you think would pair well with this flavorful shrimp. The thing I love about this shrimp is that it's not a real heavy fry and it's not a super thick coating either. As you can see, it's just kind of a nice light coating and a light pan fry. I need to keep adding shrimp to this bowl, but what I really can't do is add raw shrimp on top of my cooked shrimp. So I've got a glass bowl right here, and I'm actually just going to kind of lift up the pan. Ooh, it's a little hot. And pour them into a bowl. We'll add these shrimp and the vegetables back to the pan once everything's fried up, but for now, it smells just like how I used to have it when I was a kid. I'm going to keep pan frying. I'll check back with you in a few. So I have all of my shrimp bites fried to a nice light golden brown, but now we come to kind of a problem here. My peppers and onions have gotten cold, and the shrimp is at varying different levels of heat. So what we're going to do is we're going to toss it all back into the pan and let it cook together for a few minutes. I've added a little bit more oil to the pan because, again, I just don't want anything to stick or not have that flavor that the good olive oil gives it. So at the beginning of this recipe, I said 2 to 2.5 tablespoons of olive oil. Think you probably going to want to have a little bit more on hand so that nothing sticks to your pan, maybe more like 5 tablespoons on hand. I'm going to toss my peppers and onions back in. Give them a good stir. I'm going to just toss my shrimp in here now. We don't have to worry about them not browning so much because the pan is fried. If they've already browned to a light golden brown, they'll probably end up browning just a little bit more because they're cooking, again, just a little bit more. Make sure you're stirring this up real well because you want to incorporate all the peppers and onions into your salt and pepper fried shrimp, right? You don't want one plate or one side of the pan to have no peppers and onions and one side to only be peppers and onions. It's all about balance. So you can kind of just leave it like that, everything in a nice even layer. You can get real fancy and go. Just try not to break your stove. And let it come to the same room temperature, the same temperature altogether. I'd say maybe about 4 or 5 minutes. Use your best judgment though. Don't say, oh my goodness, Ursi said it has to be 4 or 5 minutes, but you're at like the 3.5 minute mark and you feel like it's done. Use your judgment. Smarter than you know. This looks just about ready to serve. So what we're going to do is head back over to my kitchen island so we can plate it and you can see just how I serve salt and pepper fried shrimp for dinner. Our salt and pepper fried shrimp is done. So I'm going to grab it from my stove and show you how I serve it over a nice bowl of warm, fluffy white rice. Just take a nice hearty scoop and serve it right on top. This looks like just about enough for myself. I'm Ursi from Ursi's Unique Eats. Thank you so much for cooking dinner with me. I hope you make your very own salt and pepper fried shrimp at home and love it as much as I do. Enjoy!